Good morning and welcome to the Morning Breath live stream where we start our day with coherence. My name is Jeremy Tennell and I am your host, systems designer, and coherence coach. This is week 10, day 46 of our 14-week journey entitled The Path of Personal Transformation. And today we talk about pressure, not as something you avoid, but as something that tells us the truth. It's commonly believed that pressure changes us. It doesn't. Pressure reveals us. You don't rise to your intentions under pressure. You fall to your conditioning. And that's where most people get confused. Because who you think you are and who you actually are under pressure are often two very different people. There have been moments in my life where I thought I had done the work. I was clear. I was grounded. I was disciplined until something hit. Time, pressure, conflict, unexpected disruption. And in those moments, I didn't respond the way I thought I would. One of the clearest examples of this is when I started a construction business. We had been struggling financially for some time, on the heels of a great recession. An opportunity came up, and I took it. But I should have left it where I found it. I began something in which my heart was not in it, my alignment was not with it, and my purpose would not be revealed through it. Then came the pressure, revenue, payroll, timelines, expectations, debt. All my work, my skills, my leadership went out the window. I was running from day to day, job to job, and employee to employee. I was living in a constant reactionary state with no discipline engaged, no awareness, and no pause. Old patterns showed up. Bad habits took over, and poor narratives amplified. And it forced me to confront something honestly. I hadn't fully integrated this work. I had understood it. I'd studied it. I had even practiced it some. But I hadn't become it yet. Pressure is the test of integration in our life. Pressure doesn't test your ideas, doesn't care about your intentions, or even the amount of awareness that you've sat on a mat and worked to practice. It tests our patterns. Because under pressure, the system you live by doesn't ask, what do I believe? It defaults to, what if I practice consistently enough to trust? And whatever that answer is, that's what shows up. Not the version of you talk about, but the version of you you've trained. This is where growth feels confusing for many of us. Because in calm environments, you can access your higher thinking. You can pause, you can reflect, you can breathe, and you can choose differently. But pressure removes that buffer. And when that happens, your nervous system takes over. Not your philosophy, but your flight, fight, freeze, or fawn response. So if your work has only been lived in reflection, but not in repetition, then under pressure, you won't be able to access it. You'll abandon it. Not because you're weak, but because it's not yet who you are. It's not your default. From a systems perspective, pressure exposes your baseline programming. It reveals what loops are still active within me, what patterns are still reinforced, what responses are still automatic, because systems don't change when conditions are easy. They change when new behaviors hold under stress. So if your pattern is to be triggered, which causes a reaction, that builds reinforcement. Then pressure accelerates that loop. But if your pattern becomes to triggering, to taking a breath, pausing, self-regulation, and then the ability to choose your response, that pattern builds over time. Pressure becomes the moment where the system actually shifts, not conceptually, but operationally. Culturally, we've been taught to perform growth. We talk about it, post about it, intellectualize about it, but screens and posts can't help you learn to embody it under pressure. And that's why you'll see people who know the language of awareness, but still constantly react unconsciously. Understand regulation, but still escalate conflict. Talk about values, but abandon them when it matters most. Because pressure doesn't care. It reveals what you practice. So today, stop asking yourself, do I understand this work? Ask yourself, what shows up when I'm under pressure? Because that is your truth. Not your calm state clarity, not your intentions, not what you can do at the gym, not what you can do at the mat, but under pressure, what are your defaults? And that goal is not perfection. The goal is this, to train a new default that holds when it actually matters. I'd like you to take your journals today, and I'd like you to spend some time. Explore this question. Where in my life does pressure reveal a version of me I'm no longer aligned with? And what pattern is still running in those moments? Where is my default under pressure? That's going to take some real honesty to explore. Let's move into our breath work. We're going to practice for about 5 or 6 minutes. So get yourself comfortable. And I want you to roll your shoulders back. Let's take a deep inhale through our nose. Exhale with our mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale with a sigh. And let's breathe in through our nose for about 6 seconds. Exhale through our mouth for about 6. Again. Repeat that pattern. Place your hand over your heart. Keep the breath pattern of 6 seconds up. And let's begin aligning our cognitive centers. Let's align our emotional intelligence with our intellectual intelligence. We do that through gratitude. As you continue to breathe, Begin a gratitude list in your mind. I am grateful for today. I am grateful to be here. I am grateful for the birds chirping outside. I am grateful for the sunrise. Continue your list in your mind. Continue your breath. Stay with it. When you get distracted, return to your breath and your gratitude. Let's take a big inhale through our nose. Out through your mouth with a sigh. One more. And exhale. Practicing breath brings awareness to our breath. Learning how our breath regulates our system teaches us to regulate our system for ourselves in the difficult moments where pressure begins to arrive. If this resonates with you, stay with this work, because awareness isn't enough. Practice is what changes you. You don't rise to who you want to be. You fall to who you've trained yourself to become. So train intentionally. Take a breath. Hold your ground. I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30.